refunding or capturing an amount and things like that. So Håkon, you can fill in as well on that. We have been working in the past, let's say for the past month or something, maybe a bit longer, on integrating in our boilerplate a very well-known or probably the most well-known payment provider in the Nordics or Norway. More
True. Yes. So we've been working with getting VIPs in our boilerplate, and it's the sort of go-to solution for mobile payments in Norway specifically. So this whole video will be just talking about how to integrate VIPs only. We're not going to touch other payment providers this time, but it's going to be really focused on how to do VIPs specifically. And we're talking about the VIPs Express checkout, which is like the quickest, easiest thing to get up and running on your eShop.
Yeah, and of course, VIPs is it's pretty common to be used in also in-store purchases, right? So it's really nice that we work with it, because you can actually use the whole headless approach that we've talked about in the past in a great way, let's say. So it's let's say that it plays well, it fits. So it made sense to start implementing, and there were many requests actually from the community to work on something like that. So here we are. So for today we talked about maybe sharing a little bit of the code and walking through the steps that we did, that we took to have this integration up and running, and maybe explain a little bit of the concepts for VIPs. And also we'll be showcasing, like I mentioned in the beginning, things like using the events that Crystallize is firing to handle captures or refunding the payment on any other action that you want to be taking. Right. Maybe you don't want to refund in any case, but we'll be showcasing that.
So for this exercise, I would not want to show some code status. I would, if I can I just be the customer this time?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, sure.
I'm in Norway, and you're in Greece right now, right? So
yes,
this is a Norwegian service right now, so I think it makes sense.
Yeah,
I even have the app on my phone.
Yeah, it should be totally fine. So let's explain a bit for those that are not familiar with VIPs. The way it works is that you have an application on your phone, smartphone of any kind, iPhone or Android, and basically what you're doing is that VIPs is requesting you to verify that you actually want to be sending that money or pay eventually. So through the application, you're actually paying for the goods you're purchasing, whether that is for in-store experience, or online. So we'll be doing something, let's say, in between. Let's see how we can make that work. So yeah, we're both in different cities, different countries. We're like in the other sides of Europe, literally. So let's see if we can make that sync. It'll be great.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you want to go ahead, Håkon, and showcase a little bit, or maybe, or should I be explaining a little bit of the concept in the code?
So I guess what we can do now is to show people the website we're going to use. I'm going to be on my phone the entire time.
Yeah. Okay.
I will just do like this. So this is a highly advanced way to share your screen, and we're going to use a website we made specifically for this purpose. It's called Crystallize-VIPs.
Yeah, I'm posting it on the live chat right now for people to feel free and access that if they want to.
Yeah.
So we'll be using that, and this is a live example, obviously, with VIPs integrated in the checkout.
Yep.
So
and we're using we're using our standard tenant for this, like our furniture tenant. So I will be purchasing stuff like
chairs.
Chairs, basically. Yeah, I've done. So let's see here. What I can do. I can start off by just purchasing something or putting something in my basket, and once we get to the checkout, you can take over and showcase what.
Yeah, and I can actually, and it will be really nice to explain how the whole VIPs thing works and how Crystallize is actually a great match for that. So yeah, please go ahead. And it will be really cool actually to share my screen, see the showcase the pipelines and the how things are changing basically.
Exactly. Yeah. Cool. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and buy this beautiful Nordic chair.
Awesome.
I'm putting in the basket here in our website. I'm going to checkout, and I'm going to select VIPs.
Yep.
And I'm getting redirected to this page, and I guess this is a good time to explain what just happened.
So basically, how the way that VIPs works is that what you're doing is that you're sending a payment request. You can see the order here. Actually, I'm sharing my screen right now.
I guess. But so, I haven't paid yet, Stavros.
I know. I will. Okay. Let me show you the way that VIPs works and how Crystallize is actually. That's what I meant. That Crystallize is actually great match for that, and it solves. Let's say the way that VIPs works. So the way that VIPs is actually handling this transaction there is that when someone clicks purchase, like Håkon did right now, it requests from your side, so from your application, to send it information on the item that is purchased and the order ID that is specified in your system. So the way that that this is translated is basically that inside VIP system, the order identifier is the same one as your system. So nice. In order to do that, what we've been doing in Crystallize is that we have been creating an order in Crystallize with empty data. So as you can see here in my screen, it says it has no data, no customer data basically. And it's an empty body specifically. And that body is then later on, as Håkon will proceed now, you can proceed purchasing.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, so when he proceeds purchasing, VIPs will be sending back a callback when the purchase is completed or when the purchase is initialized, meaning that it's moving to another stage where the customer has accepted the payment.
Right. So I click the button on the website, and now the application, like the app, pops up, and it asks me if it's okay that Crystallize charges me 799 kroner for this order.
Yep.
And I say, yep, it's okay. And it's giving me a status in Norwegian. It says, I have to go to history. Here's the order. It says it's approved.
Yep.
Godkjent in Norwegian. And
beautiful.
Which means that the order is done, like it's approved, but it's not. We haven't captured any money just yet, right?
Exactly. So what we should be doing now is that when you should be getting now the loading screen, right? So on purchase, you should be getting the loading screen. And the way that this is being used in the whole VIPs integration is that after the purchase, there's a link redirection.
I got my summary now. Yeah.
Exactly. So there's a redirection back to your application. There we go. As you can see, the updated information for the user. This is a test account for VIPs. So as you can see, there's some test information basically that we've been using.
But so this is cool because so VIPs are responding back with user data essentially.
Yeah, exactly. So VIPs will be sending you back the entire customer information that you'll be needing, name, email, addresses to send over the goods, and of course it's you need to comply to some rules. Like for instance, if a customer specifically rejects or requests his data to be deleted, then you should be complying to that and removing the data from your system eventually. So Apart from that, this is a really nice example of how Crystallize is really very simply matching with this kind of approaches, where you go ahead and create your initial order without any data, and then whenever you get some data back, you just go ahead and update the data in Crystallize. You know, no fuss like required fields to create data initially. Otherwise, you will be needing to be doing something like, okay, generate an order in my system, and you know, this is another whole mess. So for this solution, I just use Crystallize or the ID that it generates basically, and it works like a charm.
Yeah. So, okay. So this is cool. So this sort of eliminates the need of a database or somewhere where you can persist your order.
Exactly. So all the information
like temporarily, right?
Yeah, exactly. So you just store everything in Crystallize, because that's how we made the order handling API for Crystallize to exactly do that. Just dump anything that you don't need there, and later be able to handle that query update, etc., etc. So I can dive a little bit of the code actually. And do you think that's cool? So I was referring to you, Håkon.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
I was about to jump in a little bit on the code, maybe. So what we've done on that part. So as you can see here, you should be able to still see my screen. If so, let me know. But what we've done here is that for those of you that are familiar a little bit with the boilerplate, we have a say a page checkout component. So here you have your all the different payment providers. And for instance, in Vipps, it's very simple, just a button that is just sending you an order, sending you a request to the server layer of the server-side application that we've made here in the boilerplate. So it actually just sends me information with the cart and you know, just the Vipps action to trigger the initiate payment call, which is the first call that Vipps is requiring you to handle. And it's actually the request that Håkon did in the beginning when he clicked the button, and I needed to be providing the order ID, like I mentioned, and the cart to Vipps to begin the whole transaction with purchase from your phone thing there. Right. Yeah. So
I clicked the sort of purchase with Vipps button on our website.
Yep.
And a few seconds later, I got redirected to like a Vipps confirmation sort of page. Yeah. Okay. So that you know, the code that you were seeing right now is all the code that is getting executed in between that. Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful. Exactly. So just to walk through it, I think it's fairly simple. People can easily read that. So I just get the order data from the website. I translate that to Crystallize data to, you know, I massage it a little bit, send it over to Crystallize. I get over the response from the order creation. And then I just do the, using the package, we didn't mention that, but we have created an NPM package available in NPM. It's Crystallize Vipps, the name of the package, and basically it just gives you an easier way to have transactions with the Vipps API basically. So what we've been doing here is that we just we have been getting the client, Vipps client, and then we do the initialize payment call. Just giving the order ID that we created in Crystallize, as you can see, and that's basically it. So then the order is created in Vipps, and Håkon is proceeding with accepting the payment eventually.
Yeah. Okay.
That's exactly what happens. And after that is completed, Håkon is redirected, or any client, basically not just Håkon, but eventually the client will be redirected to a page, like a confirmation page.
Yeah, and this is our page back in the boilerplate. Like you're temporarily on Vipps' system to confirm, and then you're sent back to wherever you came from.
Exactly. Yep. And you're requested to handle that in Vipps, and of course make it your own. So here what we've been doing is that we when we get the confirmation, we update the order in Crystallize again with the customer information, as you can see here. So we get all the customer information from Vips. It's handling that, and then later on, I just push it to Crystallize, updating the order with a status, that it's been handled already. So this is the story, and basically now, as you can see, I have my order here. I have the data. I have the test user account, and this is where we're standing right now. Right. Eventually.
So Stavros, as a user, as a customer, I'm really eager to get my chair. So I've got the Vips sort of reservation done, but I can still see here nothing's happened, right? It's still just pending. So what's next?
Exactly. So as a customer, or not a customer, but as a web shop manager or whoever owns a business, which is me in this case, I have a few stages, as we have mentioned previously, before we go and deliver the product, right? So we just have a few picked up here. For those of you that are familiar, we should have referred to that in the previous live chat as well, the live event. So we'll be using the Crystallize pipelines and its stages to handle this kind of events that we want to be triggering and firing. So I have declared a pickup here in Crystallize. Let's say this is the order that Håkon just placed, right? And basically, I want that to go through specific stages, specific steps before it's delivered. And the way that this will be working is that I will actually charge Håkon, or I will charge my client eventually when I get I will get the order to at the deliver stage. So basically, either that is delivered from a third party, or I send it to his house or whatever. And in that stage, I want to capture the amount of Håkon's purchase.
Right, and then this is quite important, Stavros, because by Norwegian law, you're not allowed to capture any money before the customer has the goods in their hands. Or if it's a virtual product, it's a different story. But now it's a chair, so you would be breaking the law if you weren't capturing the money at the right stage.
Exactly, and I don't want to do that. So that's exactly where this would be coming perfectly in place. So in order to have like a bigger hassle, I guess it would be a bigger hassle to do that manually, right? Than just using the pipelines that we showcase here. So
tell me when you move this to packing, right? I would assume if this was a real store, someone would go back to the back and fetch the chair and wrap it and make it ready. Make it ready
for delivery. And this is an example stages that we have set up, right? So an order comes in, it's like a new order, and then you start packing it, and then it's ready to be delivered, for example. And then on delivered, I want to be sending that to the customer, right? Or it is delivered. So what we've done here in order to have that automation, like we mentioned in the previous video, I'll just mention once more, just for reference. We have a couple of webhooks here. So in this one, for example, excuse me, we got the handling of, or the event fired whenever a order state has changed in the pipeline. So we're just throwing that in the, as you can see here, in the Vips JAMStack web shop, in the endpoint that we handle the webhooks, basically, with the order details. So this is then this is being triggered, obviously, every time that something's changing in the pipeline. So
so let's just assume that we had a bunch of things ready here. So what's a typical thing you would do on the web shop side of things when you move them around? I think we mentioned it last time, but I think it's nice to revisit.
What do you mean by what do you be doing?
Right. So I assume that when you move something to packing, or maybe even to more suitably to ready state, you would probably notify the customer that, hey, This is an
Yeah, of
in-store
course.
pickup, so please come to the store and pick it up.
Yeah, for sure. So this can be done exactly handling the events again, once more, right? So if you have something like say, for example, you got this guy, which is where we handle the events currently. We have for this webhook that is being targeting this endpoint specifically. We have been declaring the stages, of course, for this pipeline that we care about, basically. And for that matter, we will be having actions, either pushing through a notification or email or whatever, SMS, what have you, in general, to the customer, to the client, to perform the action. Or you can do it, like we said, there's many ways of dealing with stuff. You can if the customer is actually in store, or if if he's purchased something online, you just notify him via email that your order is ready, it's sent, or what have you.
I guess if you have an in-store pickup, you probably wouldn't text the user afterwards. Say, hey, we delivered your thing.
That would be great.
Would be kind of weird.
Go home, it's ready. But maybe we should be thinking about that. Let's see. So yeah, for this example, what we've been doing is that specifically for the deliver stage, we have been implementing the capture order logic here for VIPs. So basically, when I will be drag and dropping this order from my ready stage to the deliver stage, I should be triggering this logic here, which will be calling VIPs to capture the order with information, and then updating the crystallized order with that info. So basically notifying or keeping track of what's changed. So shall we do that? And also let's mention that all these actions should be also in sync with Håkon's account in VIPs, right? So when
let's just see what it looks like now. This is the approved, reserved state. Yeah.
Beautiful. So I'll drag and drop it here. There we go. And this should be running. You can go ahead and refresh.
And look at this. In Norwegian, beautiful text. It says money is sent.
There we go. So we've actually captured the money, right? Or captured the amount.
I'm just locking my chair, but okay.
Yeah, and I will also update this is just an example what we have been sustaining back the captured notification from VIPs to Crystallize, just to showcase here some additional information. Nothing too fancy.
Yeah, right. So if you have additional information very, very specific to your use case, you could sort of store this here. And I would assume that could be something along, if like your customer had some comments or feedback to whatever, to this particular order, you could actually just put it here.
Yeah, exactly.
Or, whatever that sort of suits you.
Either a comment or, complaints, or, he contacted us then and did that. So, actions. So,
I guess from a sort of a typical scenario, we're kind of done now because we've moved the order through the entire pipeline. We captured the money. Yep. And the order is good, but there is a problem.
What's your problem?
I don't have a chair.
You don't have a chair?
I want a refund, man, because I don't see any chair.
You need a refund. Okay.
I need a refund.
Should be fairly simple to do. So on that, we do have a canceled, or let's go for refund stage here for our pipeline. It could be easily be a different pipeline or whatever. So Håkon has just requested a refund for whatever reason. Maybe his chair was broken. I don't know. Many things can go wrong. So let's go ahead and jump on the code, because I actually have not implemented that here. And let's see how easy that would be to work on, and basically add another step there. So I guess as a really optimistic developer, you would think that, well, we will never have refunds, right? So there's no need to implement that at all. Yeah, exactly. So say, for example, that we stay in the same pipeline. We stay the same concept here. So simple enough. I will just have the new stage here declared, and then I will go ahead and do the wait get client. Now I'm just typing.
You're live coding this thing. Nice.
I'm live coding that. So I want to show how easy that would be to work with. So here we go. And then if we go.
You probably want refund and not capture, I guess.
Yeah. Well, let me see real fast. So this is the body that Vips is requesting you when you perform a refund action. So let's go ahead and add that here. There we go. Oh, I have capture. Okay. There we go. And we do refund. We do this guy. And what we need is actually this guy. So basically the whole amount. Of course, you can do partial refunds, but for this example, we're just going with this one. So a simpler approach. Sorry about that. There we go. Give me one sec. Oh, come on. Okay, beautiful. There we go. I managed to do that. So eventually what we're doing is that we're sending the order ID to Vips, and with our merchant information and transaction information, which is basically the amount that we want to refund. So after we do a simple deployment, which takes about, I think, around 2 minutes, Håkon, if I'm correct, in Vercel.
But I think we might already have that.
Yeah, we did push it.
Okay.
We did push it. So it's
revealing some cheats right here now.
Yep. So we have, yeah, that's true. But it's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine. Yeah. So eventually, just you just update the code. It doesn't take too long. It's Delta deployment eventually, which is exactly what we're aiming and we're following as in best practice Crystallize. So what I'll be doing now is that say that this is deployed and it's ready, it's in production. So I'll just go ahead and drag and drop the order here, and basically this should be triggering the event in Håkon's phone or updating the order there.
Dude, man, it says refunded.
Okay, I can actually understand that.
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful.
Right, nice.
So there we go. That's a simple integration, let's say. Not simple, but it did take us a few days to handle. But as you know, it's as you probably saw, is that it's relatively easy to just handle the event and implement some actions that you want to be taking in that matter, right? So did it look hard, Håkon? I started sweating a little bit just to be.
Well, I think this is one of the easiest integrations of payments of a payment provider that I've encountered, but we will be launching a Learn page that takes you through every step you need to do in order to enable Vips Express for your tenants. Mm-hmm. And we got the sort of the page up, so you can probably share that too. We're gonna enhance that with a lot more info coming the next few days. Mm-hmm. But this will just take you to step by step, because you need to create an account with Vips first, and acquire some tokens, and downloading a test app, and so on and so forth. It's just, there's obviously a few things you need to do, but this Learn page will take you through that.
Yeah,
and along the way,
explaining that, and also, of course, in the documentation there's already some information on how to place orders, for people that are starting eventually Crystallize or
right. And obviously, I mean, if you have any questions, you can just post them on our Crystallize Slack channel, our community channel, and there might even be other people out there that have experienced, maybe your particular kind of problem. And
exactly.
If not, we're going to pick up any questions and try to answer them as good as we can. Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay, so I think that's it for this one. Summing up, we showcased a little bit of how your payment handling queues or whatever logic can be done in Crystallize and with event-driven approach, etc. So I think we have quite a few interesting upcoming events. And this will be, of course, updated, and you can always check them out in the Crystallize page. It's under the event section. So feel free to do that and join us in the next one.
Yeah, which one are we going to do next, Stavros? Have we decided yet?
So I'm not entirely sure. To be told.
I think I have my bet on multilingual shop.
Yeah. Well, it is a feature that we released, so we're pretty proud of that. So let's see. It will be announced very shortly, I would assume.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned for that. Okay, guys, thank you for joining us, and see you in another future Crystallize live event in YouTube. Bye.
All right.